Welcome back, guys, to another game played by Vladimir Kramnik, the 14 world champion, and this time against Peter Leko, the Hungarian Grandmaster. This was the first game in the 2004 World Championship match between these players, and Kramnik had black pieces. The opening was a Petrov defense, an opening which Kramnik has definitely helped to popularize, and this is the game on move 17. Kramnik in this position played knight to a5. This is the new idea in the game, and during the press conference after the game, Leko said that this move was provocative but also thematic in this position, and it reminded him of the Grunfeld defense, which he loved playing with the black side. With this move, black is preparing to challenge the white center with c5, and this provoked Leko to react actively with the move c4. This now leads to a forcing sequence where white obtains the queen for a rook, a minor piece, and a pawn. Here Kramnik took on c4, bishop takes, we have queen takes c4, and knight to d2 forces an exchange of the bishops, and subsequently some tactics down the e file. Here bishop g5, opening up a discovery. Queen takes e1 forced, bishop takes g5, and here Leko played his queen over to a5, hitting the pawn on a7 as well as the bishop. This might still be inside Kramnik's home preparation. So if one wants to try and play this cautiously, he can opt for a move, say bishop to f4, and after queen takes, you play b6, and then try to stick this bishop on the d6 square, setting up a blockade which looks difficult to break through. But after queen to a5, Kramnik plays the very interesting bishop to f6, a very brave decision by Kramnik, allowing Leko to take on a7, and here Kramnik played c5. This is the key move, creating a situation where both sides now have passed pawns. I think this was a great decision by Kramnik, and he correctly judged that white's pieces will have difficulty finding coordination. Here he pushed the pawn, c4, rook e2. Obviously this cannot be taken because of the background mate. So here we have rook e to d8. Leko push a4 and Kramnik push c3. So black's passer looks incredibly dangerous, and having this dark square bishop definitely helps as it controls the queening square. So here Leko brought the queen back, queen to e4, bishop b6, queen c2, and Kramnik played g6, eliminating the background issues. Queen b3 now, hitting the bishop and preparing to bring the rook over. We have rook to d6, rook c2, and bishop a5. Despite having the queen, Leko is the one being tied down, but this is still objectively a draw. If white tries to get active, for example queen b5, then black can go rook d2. So if this is taken, then this is going to be very bad for white. Now black is threatening to promote. So here if rook c1, then black continues c2, and this would have to be taken, otherwise black goes rook d1 check. And here only black will have winning chances. So after bishop a5, g4 played by Leko to give the king room on g2. Rook d2 from Kramnik, we have king g2, and here rook c to d8. In this moment, Leko, with only a few minutes left on the clock, he crumbled under pressure, under the bind exerted by Kramnik. White's best hope would have been to try and stay passive and try to blockade, for example, queen b1, queen b3, something like this. But here Leko played rook takes c3, giving up the exchange. And this leads to a position where only Kramnik can win. Queen c6, rook a5. The first step for Kramnik is to try and scoop up this a-pawn. King g3 from Leko, we have rook d to a8, h4, and here rook 5 to a6. So maybe Kramnik could have played h6 in this position, with the idea that if h5, g5, locking the structure and avoiding pawn trades, as more pawns would equal more winning chances for black. So here white cannot take this pawn on h6, because then rook 8 to a6, and the queen is actually trapped. So in this position, rook 5 to a6 played. Now Leko goes queen to c1, again stopping black from going h6. Rook a5. Black in turn tries to stop white from going h5. So if black goes rook takes a4, white achieves his immediate goal of h5, and sometimes this pawn can come to h6, causing black some discomfort. So in this position, rook a5, queen h6 played by Leko, really trying to stop this h6 maneuver by black. Kramnik goes rook takes a4, we have h5, rook 4 to a5, and here queen f4 played by Leko. And this is actually a blunder, which allows Kramnik to then fix the pawn formation and then go after this weak f-pawn. So what Leko should have played was the move h takes g6. This is probably the best chance for white to hold this position, swapping off as many pawns as possible. Although it's still going to be difficult, black still has this very clear plan of going after the f-pawn, but this is better than what happened in the game. In the game, queen f4 played, and here g5 played by Kramnik. Leko goes queen f6, so Leko probably thought that he is threatening h6 and queen g7. So black would have to play probably rook 8 to a6. And after queen d8 check, king g7, queen d4, and it's not clear exactly how Kramnik should continue. f6 is not really a move you want to play, since that would further expose the king. And if black tries rook to f6, then here white can go h6. This starts to get very complicated. f4, threatening f5, so let's say takes. King to h4, queen f3, queen to d8, and things start to get very tricky. And if black is not careful, for example, if he plays f2, then queen g8 check, this actually leads to mate. So after the move queen f6, Kramnik actually played h6. This is a very clever move, clearly overlooked by Leko, and the point is that white cannot take on h6 because the queen would then be trapped. So after h6, Leko played f3, and now Kramnik starts his plan of winning the f-pawn. I'm going to play through this part quickly. Basically, Kramnik is just trying to coordinate his rooks. So here, rook to f4, Kramnik manages to execute his plan. And now there is no stopping the other rook from coming over to f6. Leko played queen b2 check, rook a to f6, queen e5, rook takes f3. And with this pawn now eliminated, black's job becomes much easier. White will either have to give up his queen for the two rooks, or risk losing the g-pawn. For example, if queen b8, I'm going to show you a possible line. So here black is going to go after the g4 pawn. Rook f to f4, queen c3 check, king h7, and g4 is going to fall. In the game, Leko played queen to a1. We have rook to f1, queen to c3, rook 1 to f2 check, king to g3, and here Kramnik forces the exchange. So here Kramnik played king to f6, and in this position Peter Leko resigned. The pawn endgame is winning for Kramnik. A very nice game from Kramnik, showing that he is willing to take risk and go the extra mile to win even with the black pieces. If anything, this opening game definitely silenced the critics who predicted that the match was going to be boring. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and thanks for watching.